Hi, welcome to iWalker Studios. I'm going to teach you how to put together the easels today. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be fun. So pay attention. Lots of information in here. You might want to take notes, stop the video, and write things down as you get there. The basic structure is wood. The face of it is called luan. It's a very inexpensive, very thin wood. I don't know what it's usually used for. I think it's used for a laminate, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so we're going to go through that. The luan to begin with is, whoops, let me put you on close here because now we're close. The luan to begin with is just looks like a 1/4 of an inch thick. There we go. Or 1, 2, 3, 4/16, so 1/4 of an inch thick. The basic structure is a panel that is wide enough to go into my car, into the back of the car, and then a wing on the side. So first we'll address the A-frame structure, then the front, then the wing. Okay, here we go. The A-frame structure is put together by 2 identical pieces, both with the wing on the same side, but as you see here, I have drilled holes in the same position on all of the uprights so that the wings can be put on either side depending on whether the artist is doing something on the right or the left side that they need to grow their painting. The A-frame is 2 pieces that are joined together by the same sort of joining system that Tim used, carriage bolt, although it's a smaller carriage bolt. Every one of the pieces of wood is drilled in exactly the same space. We did that by lining them all up and marking them and drilling them all at once. The width of the entire structure without the wing, the width of the piece without the wing, sorry, I'm having a hard time with my measuring tape here, is 35 3/4 inches. That means that it fits into my car at 35 inches. It's pretty tight, but it fits into my car. The length of the entire structure with the arms at the top and the feet at the bottom is 8 feet. Exactly. The length of the piece on the front that the painters paint on, the luan, is 7 feet. So the 35 3/4 by 7 feet for the luan, or 12 feet for the luan. Well, yeah, 35 3/4 by 7 feet for the luan. The A-frame is made out of boards that are 3 by 1, or 2 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And I've put them together on side. And I've used the same position for them on the cross members. The cross members are inside at the top, the bottom, and in the middle. The cross members are exactly 34 1/4. So I've cut 1, 2, 3 34 1/4 1x3s, 2 8-foot 1x3s, and then for the additional wing, you need a 1x3 that is 56 inches or 4'8". That's the length of the wing that I've made. The carriage bolt positions, I've attached the cross members at the top of the luan, the bottom of the luan, and in the very center of the luan, between the uprights. The carriage bolts at the top go in at 1 1/4 inches. There is a 6-inch gap or 6-inch leg that extends beyond the top to where the luan begins, the 7-foot luan. So I have a 1/2 inch. So I have a 1/2 foot, 7-foot luan of 7 feet, and then a 1/2 foot at the bottom before the 7-foot luan again begins. The wings, the carriage bolt for the wings to attach on both sides of the uprights, I drill them at 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, it looks like. And I also drilled, and that's where they join at the top to pivot. I also did the same at the bottom in case I happen to put these upside down somewhere so I don't have to worry about it. I also drilled another inch at 25.5 inches, or another carriage bolt position at 25.5 inches. And if I can angle this here and hold it still, and a carriage bolt at 38 inches from the bottom on the 1x8s, that is the upright for the A-frame. Then I lined up and drilled into the wings so that I get them all in the same spot. That means that the wings are all interchangeable. Every one of these is drilled exactly the same way. So if I put them upside down, it's not a big deal. In other words, everything is equal from the bottom to the top. Although, well, anyway, the wings work, trust me. All right, so when I put them together, I backed up here a little bit. When I put them together, the tops, because there's only 6 inches from the luan to the very top of the A-frame, the cross members meet really close. And those are the 1x3s that go between the top of the luan on either sides to either pieces of the A-frame, of the uprights, okay? So those meet and they touch very close up there. To keep it from moving, I don't use a chain or anything like, or a pole or another piece of wood to bolt it in. Although I could, I don't do that. What I do instead is I use, let me walk you around here, sorry. I use these little pieces of carpet from my car. These are an old car mat that I no longer use. It got too dirty and I don't use it. I got a new one. So this is a car mat, and I just cut it up. If you don't have one, you can go to Goodwill. I guarantee you they've probably got some there. Pick one up and cut it up in little pieces. The little rubbery feet here, the little pokey feet, actually compress and stop it from moving forward when you shove it underneath. So those go with me. The luan is, moving on to the luan now. The luan is 1/4 inch thick. I've covered it in, I sanded it so that it wasn't splintery, because it comes out kind of splintery when you first get it. It feels really splintery. The underside is not sanded. It's very splintery. This side is splintery. And I have considered putting another piece on the other side if these wear out, but I think these will last me a long time. I use tape, not thumbtacks for my painters. The reason being is just an alternate that I thought was safer with cats and babies roaming around my house. I didn't want the thumbtacks on the floor. And I tend to grab pokey things at the pokey end, so I'm using tape instead of thumbtacks. Just masking tape, and just the tan masking tape. You can get 6 of these for a roll. It's a contractor's roll at Home Depot for $20. I covered them. I primed them and squiggled a little message up at the top of each one. I primed them in tempera paint. That's what we're using. and the paper won't stick to it. If you put acrylic up there with temperature, it can heat up and become gummy and sticky, and the paper that the painters put on it will stick to it. And you know, medium isn't always responsive to other medium being put on top of it, so you might have some issues with compatibility, one type of paint on top of another type of paint. The wings. The wings are an overall measurement of 12 inches by 56 inches. So they're 4'8" by 1 foot. And if you look closely, the wings are only framed on the one side. Because they're so small, they don't move a lot, they're not heavy, they come off again to go in my car. See, I can wiggle it. It's not heavy, but it's sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just a little bit wobbly. And I just hammered in from the 1x3s to that. I used a nail gun to get a lot of little nails in here. And I used nails that were very small, hardly any head. You can see kind of a divot from a nail right there. The nail is recessed, and I just use another nail to tap it into the wood so that it's flush and it's not in the way. So the wings come off. They go on top of the A-frames, which come apart, so I have individual easels. Here's one here in my garage. It's an individual easel. Come apart and they slide into the trunk of my car. And you're thinking, wow, they're really long. Yes, they do stick out the back of my car, but really they only stick out about a foot because it's not a big deal, and I just rope my trunk as close as I can, hang a red flag on it, and drive down the road. I've already tried it out. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it. You're at 12 minutes. That means I have to time off or YouTube won't like me. So, see you soon. Love you all. Bye.